Ever wondered why Americans sleep 8 hours and wake up exhausted, while Amish families sleep 7 hours and spring from bed ready for 14-hour workdays? The answer isn't genetics or luck. It's 10 specific body care habits practiced daily that prevent the chronic fatigue plaguing modern society. These aren't complicated biohacks or expensive supplements. They're simple practices that work with human biology rather than against it. Temperature shock. The Amish day begins not with hot showers, but with cold water washing, a practice that immediately activates the nervous system in ways hot water cannot replicate. Within minutes of waking at 4:30 a.m., Amish men and women wash their faces, necks, and hands with cold well water, shocking their bodies into full alertness. This cold exposure triggers immediate physiological responses. Blood vessels constrict, then dilate rapidly, improving circulation. The nervous system releases norepinephrine and adrenaline, creating natural alertness without caffeine. Brown fat activates, boosting metabolism for hours afterward. The sudden temperature change resets the body's thermoregulatory system, signaling that sleep has ended and active hours have begun. Modern Americans who take hot morning showers experience the opposite effect: relaxation and continued drowsiness. The warm water signals the body to remain in rest mode, explaining why many feel groggy even after showering. The Amish cold water ritual eliminates this grogginess through controlled physiological stress that energizes rather than relaxes. Hormone reset. Within 30 minutes of waking, Amish individuals are outdoors, beginning morning chores, exposing themselves to natural sunlight that triggers crucial hormonal cascades impossible to replicate with indoor lighting. This early light exposure serves as the master reset switch for the body's circadian rhythm, the internal clock governing energy levels throughout the day. Sunrise light exposure causes the body to spike cortisol production, often misunderstood as a stress hormone, but actually serving as the primary energy-promoting hormone when released at appropriate times. This morning, cortisol surge creates natural alertness, mental clarity, and physical energy that lasts for hours. The timing is critical. Cortisol released at dawn supports energy, while cortisol released at night due to artificial light exposure destroys sleep quality and creates chronic fatigue. The full-spectrum natural light also begins vitamin D production and synchronizes dozens of other hormonal processes to the solar day. Amish bodies receive these light signals daily without interruption, maintaining perfect circadian alignment across decades. Modern Americans who remain indoors during morning hours miss this crucial biological reset, leaving their circadian rhythms confused and energy levels erratic throughout the day, regardless of sleep quantity. Pre-meal labor. Perhaps the most counterintuitive Amish practice involves physical labor for 90 to 120 minutes before eating anything, a pattern that seems likely to cause exhaustion but actually creates sustained energy through metabolic advantages. This fasted morning work period allows the body to complete its overnight transition from sleep metabolism to active metabolism without the disruption of incoming food. Blood sugar remains stable rather than spiking and crashing. Insulin sensitivity improves, meaning cells respond more efficiently to insulin signals throughout the entire day. Growth hormone levels remain elevated during fasted exercise, supporting muscle maintenance and fat metabolism that preserve lean body mass even during physically demanding work. Americans who eat immediately upon waking and then remain sedentary experience blood sugar spikes followed by crashes that create mid-morning fatigue. Eating triggers insulin release that promotes fat storage rather than fat burning, leaving the body dependent on constant food intake for energy rather than accessing stored fuel efficiently. The Amish fasted work period teaches the body metabolic flexibility, the ability to generate energy from multiple fuel sources rather than requiring constant glucose intake. Food quality. When Amish families finally eat breakfast around 6:30 to 7 a.m., the food quality differs dramatically from standard American breakfast items, differences that directly impact energy levels for the remainder of the day. The typical Amish breakfast centers on farm-fresh eggs collected that morning, containing nutrient profiles significantly richer than store-bought eggs from industrial operations. These eggs provide complete proteins with all essential amino acids, healthy fats that support cellular function and hormone production, and B vitamins crucial for energy metabolism. The yolks are deep orange from pasture-raised chickens, indicating high levels of fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K that supermarket eggs lack. Raw milk or cultured dairy products like yogurt or kefir provide additional protein, calcium, and beneficial bacteria that support the gut-brain axis, the communication network between digestive system and nervous system that profoundly influences energy and mood. These dairy products contain active enzymes that aid digestion, reducing the energy expenditure required for nutrient absorption. Homemade sourdough bread represents another crucial difference. The long fermentation process breaks down gluten and phytic acid that interfere with nutrient absorption in commercial bread, while creating beneficial compounds that actually support gut health. The slow-digesting complex carbohydrates provide steady glucose release for hours, rather than the rapid spike and crash from processed breakfast cereals or pastries. Preserved meats like bacon or sausage made without chemical additives provide additional protein and fat that stabilize blood sugar and promote satiety. The absence of preservatives, artificial flavors, and other chemical additives means the body doesn't waste energy processing and detoxifying compounds it wasn't designed to handle. Every calorie consumed provides actual nutrition rather than empty energy that taxes the body's systems. Active rest. Throughout the Amish workday, a pattern emerges that prevents the physical stagnation plaguing modern office workers' constant varied movement rather than prolonged sitting that has been called the new smoking for its health impacts. Amish individuals never sit for extended periods. Their work naturally involves standing, walking, bending, reaching, lifting, and carrying in constantly changing patterns. A farmer might spend an hour milking cows in a squatting position, then walk fields checking crops, then stand at a workbench repairing equipment, then bend repeatedly while weeding gardens. Each activity uses different muscle groups and movement patterns, preventing the physical fatigue that comes from repetitive motions or sustained positions. This varied movement pattern maintains blood circulation and lymphatic flow throughout the day. Unlike the cardiovascular system, which has the heart as a pump, the lymphatic system responsible for removing cellular waste and supporting immune function relies entirely on muscle contractions for fluid movement. Sedentary individuals develop sluggish lymphatic systems that allow toxin accumulation, contributing to the foggy, heavy feeling associated with chronic fatigue. The constant low-intensity movement also maintains what researchers call non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT, the calories burned through daily living activities rather than formal exercise. Amish individuals burn an additional 2,000 to 3,000 calories daily through NEAT compared to sedentary Americans, explaining how they maintain lean body composition despite consuming substantial food quantities. This higher metabolic rate provides more available energy rather than the metabolic sluggishness that develops from prolonged sitting. The psychological benefits are equally important. Task variety prevents mental fatigue and boredom that drain motivation. Each completed task provides visible results and small satisfaction boosts that maintain engagement and energy throughout long workdays. Modern office workers who sit for 8 hours performing abstract digital tasks often feel exhausted despite minimal physical exertion, because mental fatigue from monotony and lack of tangible results depletes psychological energy. Reserves. Strategic midday. During the hottest part of summer afternoons or after morning work sessions year-round, many Amish take brief rest periods that differ fundamentally from modern breaks spent scrolling phones or watching screens. These strategic pauses provide actual restoration through parasympathetic nervous system activation. The typical Amish midday rest involves 15 to 20 minutes of complete stillness, sitting quietly, perhaps with eyes closed, in a cool area of the home or under shade trees. No entertainment, no stimulation, no information consumption, just genuine rest, allowing the nervous system to shift from sympathetic fight or flight activation to parasympathetic rest and digest mode. This parasympathetic activation lowers heart rate, reduces blood pressure, and decreases stress hormone levels. Digestion improves as blood flow redirects to the digestive system. Muscle tension releases. The mind quiets without the constant input that characterizes modern life. These brief rest periods function similarly to meditation or prayer, creating mental space and nervous system recovery that prevent the accumulation of stress throughout the day. Many Amish use this time for silent prayer or reflection, adding spiritual restoration to the physical recovery. The combination of physical stillness, mental quieting, and spiritual connection provides comprehensive rejuvenation impossible to achieve while consuming media or engaging with technology. The contrast with modern breaks is striking. Americans who take breaks by checking social media, reading news, or watching videos continue stimulating their nervous systems rather than allowing recovery. The constant information flow and emotional reactions triggered by digital content maintain sympathetic nervous system activation, preventing genuine rest. These individuals feel they've taken a break because they stopped work tasks, but their bodies and minds remained in active stress mode throughout, accumulating fatigue rather than recovering from it. The strategic timing also matters. Brief rest during the natural circadian dip that occurs in early afternoon works with the body's rhythm rather than fighting it with caffeine and stimulation. This aligned rest allows stronger energy return for afternoon work compared to forcing through the afternoon slump with artificial stimulants. The eating window. Amish meal timing follows patterns that create natural intermittent fasting, a practice now recognized for profound metabolic and cellular benefits, but practiced by the Amish simply because it aligned with their work rhythms and traditional schedules. The typical Amish family consumes all food within a 10 to 11-hour window, eating breakfast around 6:30 or 7 a.m. and finishing dinner by 6 p.m. without exception. This early dinner timing creates a 14 to 16-hour overnight fasting period that allows crucial cellular maintenance processes impossible during fed states. During this extended fasting window, the body initiates autophagy, a cellular cleanup process where damaged proteins and dysfunctional components are broken down and recycled. This cellular maintenance prevents the accumulation of metabolic waste that contributes to inflammation, oxidative stress, and the cellular dysfunction underlying chronic fatigue. Autophagy also improves mitochondrial function, enhancing the efficiency of energy production at the cellular level. The morning metabolic flexibility developed through consistent fasting also prevents energy crashes. Bodies adapted to regular fasting periods can efficiently switch between burning glucose and burning fat for fuel, maintaining stable energy even when meals are delayed or food intake varies. This metabolic flexibility contrasts sharply with modern Americans who eat constantly throughout waking hours, keeping their bodies perpetually in fed states that prevent fat burning and cellular repair. The early dinner timing specifically allows complete digestion before sleep. Food consumed late in the evening remains in the digestive system during sleep hours, diverting blood flow and energy to digestion rather than repair and restoration. This digestive activity disrupts sleep quality and prevents the deep restorative sleep stages where physical recovery occurs. Amish individuals who stop eating by 6 p.m. enter sleep with empty digestive systems, allowing all available resources to focus on cellular repair, immune system maintenance, and neurological restoration. Wind down ritual. As daylight fades, Amish families begin natural transitions towards sleep that optimize the body's preparation for rest, transitions that contrast sharply with modern evening habits involving screens and artificial lighting that sabotage sleep quality. Evening chores happen outdoors in declining natural light, allowing gradual exposure to darkening conditions that signal the brain to begin melatonin production. Melatonin, the hormone that induces sleep and regulates circadian rhythm, requires darkness for production. Bright artificial light, especially the blue wavelengths emitted by screens and LED bulbs, suppresses melatonin production and delays sleep onset by hours. Amish homes transition to minimal lighting from oil lamps or gas fixtures that emit warm, dim light, lacking the blue wavelengths most disruptive to melatonin. This low lighting continues the natural progression toward darkness, allowing melatonin levels to rise steadily throughout the evening rather than being suppressed until bedtime, then expected to surge suddenly. Evening hours center on family conversation, quiet handwork like mending or woodworking, and scripture reading rather than entertainment requiring bright lights or stimulating content. These activities allow the mind to wind down naturally, rather than remaining activated by dramatic shows, intense news, or engaging social media content that triggers emotional responses, preventing mental quieting. The gradual transition from full daylight to dim lamplight to complete darkness creates smooth hormonal shifts that prepare the body for sleep over several hours, rather than expecting immediate transition from bright screens to dark. Bedrooms.